Hey everyone out there, this is Matt Garrett with CMS Critic coming to you live from CMS Kickoff 2025 in St. Petersburg, Florida. This is the third annual event that we've held here. Really exciting first day that we're just wrapping up. I'm joined by Matt McQueenie, who has been, you were just a judge, but throughout the day you've been sort of managing and shaping the air in the room, talking to a lot of the attendees as well. Let's do a quick review, Matt, on what we've seen today at the first day of CMS Kickoff. We started the day with a conversation with Nicole France from Contentful. Your thoughts and reflections on that?
Yeah, I think that day one is always an important one. It's the one that's the most, in content we'll use the word structured, right? We have a lot of just, we're not only setting the day and this event, we're setting the year. We just turned into 2025, and it's really an important event coming out of the previous year, the holidays, to hear what everyone's thinking. There's so many leaders here from all of the different companies. We have lots of customers here. We have lots of agencies that implement these solutions on the ground, right directly with the customer and the vendors. So to get somebody like Nicole's take on the marketplace as a former, or I guess always analyst,
Analyst, right.
and an evangelist now working at Contentful. She sees right into that enterprise space. Contentful is a headless CMS, so she's looking at it from that vantage as well. But I think we're looking at a lot of the ideas of potentially a sprawling marketplace of the Scott Brinker MarTech map when you see it sometimes. A real sprawling marketplace of products and companies trying to innovate in the digital experience and CMS marketplace. And what that lends itself to is trying to stand out. When you have a lot of different vendors, when you have a lot of different companies essentially trying to solve similar problems. We had a lot of discussions today about do you become a vertical? Do you try to productize for specific industries, whether it's highly regulated industries, whether it's higher education, whether it's folks, what we heard a lot today from Content AI, for instance, including their founder and current CEO, Peter Pallas. We're hearing a lot about, okay, we're trying to solve a problem that's specifically around content in the enterprise, and we're trying to build a product set specifically for that use case. We're not trying to be everything for everybody. And I think my one takeaway that's larger today is that all these vendors who are here, and we even had a fun little CMS Idol, our third annual at this event, but you do it at other events as well. It's the idea of each company trying to just innovate a bit to bring their own flavor so that it's not all just a choice of the same thing across the board. We saw a lot from Squiz, who they seemingly have come on the marketplace in this last year, even though they've been around for about 25 years.
Right.
In my estimation of what I see in the market. But I love the idea of that company, for instance, coming here to this event, bringing two individuals, and for Nick Condon, who's their managing director of EMEA, being so ever present, so involved, doing talks, doing the CMS Idol. There's a feeling of, when you look at this CMS Idol, there's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek aspect to it. It's a little fun.
It's all done in fun, right?
It's like American Idol. But I'm impressed when companies, the founders of companies, leaders of companies, come up there and take it seriously enough, because they're selling their solution as well.
With Nicole specifically, one of my favorite people in the industry, she really cuts through a lot of it. She's got very clear focus, and I think some of that is from the years spent on the analyst side and really looking deep into content platforms. And I think that's an important distinction around the evolution of a headless CMS like Contentful now positioning itself as a content platform. So we're all left a little bit shell-shocked in terms of where things fit categorically. How do we help the customer to make better decisions? From our prep to what we talked about in our session, and again, I think this format of having lightning talks where we can get through things very quickly, leave the audience with actionable things they can take away. The things that stood out for me in my discussion with Nicole was the focus on usability. I think that these platforms have innovated along a very clear channel and corridor, and there's a lot of parity now. So the way they're going to differentiate and translate that value is around that UX layer, the usability, the sort of functional control that users have to be able to apply content not just to the marketing teams, but HR, finance, different ways that content is finding a home in organizations, and we're making the tool more extensible. So I really love that about getting an expert in the industry who's been doing this for a long time to really, again, cut through it with focus. And just to go back to the customer piece, so right after Nicole, we had Mike Spenceley join us again, who was here the first year. He's from Johnson & Johnson. And I think as a customer, I love the fact that we're bringing agencies and vendors. They have a vested interest in one another. But for the customer to come in and actually spend time with us, cultivate more of that relationship, talk about what stands out to them is really exciting. And, so we had that opportunity for Mike to kind of lend his, at least his perspective on where AI is making an impact for an organization like Johnson & Johnson that has to deal with a lot of compliance, that has to deal with HIPAA and things like that. Was really powerful. And as you mentioned, I think through the rest of the day, we had just these incredible opportunities to roll through customer talks like Seb, who was joining us from TELUS, really gave us more on the journey we started in Montreal relative to observability and things that are becoming really pertinent to large brands, large enterprises, as they look at ways that they can wrestle down all the content they have. So a really dynamite first day. I think the way we end it with IDLE is really exciting for everyone. We get a little bit more audience participation in terms of them really tuning into what each vendor is presenting. I love your point about Nick coming in as sort of an agent of change in his organization. He's, as someone who's in leadership, still staying very close to what the product and the platform is doing. And I love that.
A couple of other things that popped up today, as you would expect, AI, artificial intelligence. But just in the year since we were here last, it's smartly starting to be more integrated into the stack, into the CMS, as opposed to being this kind of amazing, I don't know, it's the horse out of the barn over there that's that's causing a lot of stuff. We have the horse, I think, back in the barn a bit in a CMS and DXP kind of way. But really excited about some of the almost next level things from a CMS perspective that we heard about today, such as personalization, hyper-personalization, a lot about search. Naturally, search has come really into the fold in the sense of we had back-to-back talks where Nick from Squiz talked about the offering of Squiz, and then really the idea when you look at Squiz that they were one of the first CMSs in their telling, but it sounds about right, that went and acquired a search firm to make search central to the CMS, and it makes a lot of sense. Then we followed that up with Samir Magan from SearchStacks. This is their 10th year now. They came out in 2015, and they are just all in on perfecting the search experience almost as a composable best-of-breed plug-in right into your system in all kinds of ways. The really neat thing with search is the way it lends itself to personalization, to intent, to content strategy. And it's kind of been laying there in wait the whole time, and it was always, in the past, it was kind of an afterthought. A lot of companies would just take that Google search and put it into their site and let the Google search just do it and then surface it. And we kind of offloaded an important experience to things like that. When you see that it can be as central as it is, where when you look at Google itself, in some ways the internet is one big website and Google is just a search bar right in the middle, how it starts. But what you learn from search in the feedback loop back to personalization, intent, pages that don't come up that people are searching for, that you can then serve content. AI was very much embedded into search early because it makes a lot of sense there. I mean, even when we look back at Google itself, the way AI was embedded there. There's something truly there that in some ways search can help lead a lot of your other strategies that you can bring to the homepage and to the landing pages. But it's really interesting to see the way it organically has found its way into this community in such a strong way where heads of companies are coming to talk about it.